What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. It's time to start my way too early previews for every college football team for next season. First off, this is going to be the first video. We've got the Texas Longhorns. If you are watching this video at a later time, I'm going to have this linked with the playlist for the rest of these. So go ahead and check all those out. But as of right now, this is the first video. But let's talk about the Texas Longhorns a little bit. 13-3 this year, 2 years in a row now. They have made the college football playoff semifinals, been pretty much 2 plays away from 2 national championships potentially. This year, they're 1 play away from making it to overtime. Last year, similar situation. They go down and drive there at the end, don't get that touchdown against Washington. But really good run here for Steve Sarkisian and Quinn Ewers. Now, they've got a lot of question marks next year, in particular, replacing Quinn Ewers. Now, I know Arch Manning gets a lot of love from the Texas fans as far as calling for him to be starting over Quinn Ewers and whatnot. I wasn't one of those. Uh, like, I don't know. I don't think you can bench Quinn Ewers for what he's done, for Texas. They've been so successful under him. And really what Arch did, impressive, yes, but that was against UTSA, Monroe, Mississippi State. Not very good football team. So I'm going to need to see a little more before I'm fully bought in on Arch Manning. I think he's going to be good, but I think they are going to hurt a little bit from losing Quinn Ewers. But besides that, though, they're losing a ton else. All their weapons on the outside, their receivers are tied in. They've got one receiver coming back in Wingo. I think he'll be pretty good. He looked pretty good at times, but they're going to have to bring in some transfers in the receiving corps, in their tight ends, because they also lost Amari Nyblack to the transfer portal. Running back wise and running back room, they're good. They've got Trey Wisner coming back. They've got Baxter coming back from injury, which was their running back one going into the season. Offensive line, you've got some question marks, but Arch Manning, Baxter, Wisner, that's a nasty duo in the backfield, nasty trio. And then you've got Wingo outside. I think Texas is going to be okay offensively. Sarkisian does a good job. Defensively, though, you're also losing a bunch. And this year, they kind of hung their hat on their defense. Their offense was spotty at times, but their defense, you could argue, was the best defense in the nation. Now, their season this year didn't just play the toughest competition. They lost to Georgia both times. But come the playoff, they kind of struggled with Arizona State, but they gave Ohio State the best game in the playoff that anybody gave them. So you could definitely argue Texas was the second best team, and I probably wouldn't argue on that come the end of the season. But Texas, a lot of question marks next year. How can they replace all those pieces? We'll see. But they've got some key stuff coming in. They've got the number one recruiting class coming in. Now, will any of these guys straight up impact their team next year? I don't know. But you are bringing in a lot of 5-stars. So there's definitely potential there. These guys could contribute in some form or fashion for Texas next year. You can see all these guys they've got coming in, a lot of enrollees. There's a reason they're the number one recruiting class. Transfer portal wise, currently sitting at 74. Now, this could change. That's why this is a way too early preview, because they're still going to bring in more guys. Like I said, they're probably going to bring in wide receivers, maybe a tight end or two. There's a lot they're going to bring in. As right now, they're bringing in some D linemen, so definitely try to load up there. Purdue D lineman, North Carolina, Ohio State, bringing in a linebacker from Arkansas. He should contribute. Brad Smith, I think he'll contribute a little bit next year, as will the D lineman on a rotation. As far as their schedule next year, let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Schedule next year, as you know, they're starting out with Ohio State. So that's the big one right there. Can they win that game? Can they get their get-back game from that semifinal loss? We'll see. Both teams have question marks. So we're going to see. I think Texas, as of right now, I'd probably say is favored over Ohio State just because of how much Ohio State's losing. But looking at the rest of this, San Jose State, that's a win. UTEP win. Sam Houston win. At Florida, that's going to be tougher. I think that'll be a game, but I'd take Texas now. OU still so down. I don't see any impact there. Same with Kentucky and Mississippi State. They're not going to be able to play with Texas. Vanderbilt will be improved, but being at home, I think Texas wins that one. Here's the big one, though, Georgia. Georgia, can they go on the road and beat them? That one's almost a coin flip right now. Can Georgia replace Carson Beck, though? We'll see. Arkansas shouldn't be a problem. Then you've got A&M. So I'd say Florida, A&M, and Georgia are the big question marks there, as well as Ohio State, obviously. But I think Texas will definitely be back in the playoff next year. But the main key is how are they going to be able to replace Quinn Ewers as well as rest of the pieces? Can they bring in some receivers? I know Sark will bring in some transfer portal guys. I think that offense will be fine. Defensively, it's going to be tough. I don't know if you can take advantage again of having that good of a defense. I don't know if they can be that good again, but the defense is going to be strong. But as right now, I'd probably say they probably lose to Ohio State, and I'm going to say one more of these games. So let's go 2 losses. I'm going to say, since it's at the Horseshoe, I'm going to say they lose to the Buckeyes. Then they lose to one of Georgia, Florida, or A&M. But we'll see. But those are my thoughts on Texas next season. What are yours? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.